I'm a still non-binary third gender king, queen, and everything in between everywhere because you don't control
Up next, this non-binary TikToker's meltdown is going viral. Take a look.
Guess what, America? I'ma still get fab. I'ma still strut my little ass down these streets of New York City. Not necessarily little, but I'ma strut my ass down these New York City streets. Mr. President, as strong as you may feel, as powerful as you may think you are, you don't control how we move around in our bodies and in our clothes and how we move throughout our lives. Now, you may create the idea of it, but you will never stop a real bitch. I'm a still non-binary third gender king, queen, and everything in between everywhere because you don't control And for the minions ready to jump in my comments, ready to challenge me because that man is in the big old house, you can eat a dick.
Well, they, them seems stable and lovely. I love how he corrected himself when he said my little butt, and he's admitted like, oh no, it's not little. Like, yeah, nothing about you is giving little. It's not giving petite. It's not giving particularly androgynous either, but I think that one of the misconceptions here is the non-binary people really think they're oppressed in ways that they aren't. At least most people who criticize non-binary, who disagree with it, have no problem with you being androgynous, with you wearing women's clothes. All of that's kind of made up, and like gender non-conformity in terms of stereotypes is totally fine with me. Your sex is still male, though. It's the denial of like biological reality that we're not rocking with, that the Trump administration is putting a stop to when they say like you can't put X on your passport, which Biden allowed people to do starting in 2022 for their sex, because no human being's sex is X. Like non-binary isn't a thing in terms of biological sex. There are some rare people who are intersex, but that's not who we're talking about here. We're just talking about people who are male or are female, but like to express themselves in different ways. And no one really cares. Like, you're still free to feel however you want about yourself, to call yourself whatever you like. Other people can call you it. You just can't force other people, and the government is not going to allow you to put incorrect information on your paperwork. If you think that's like people trying to get you or control you, it's not. I think you're probably giving yourself a little too much credit that anybody really cares that much. The LGBT community does have a real problem, though, that these non-binary, because it's not a real thing, right? These kind of cosplayers have colonized the movement and have somehow hijacked it and attached themselves to it, even though what they're pushing is not legitimate. Like, this is just a feminine gay dude who likes to wear pink, and that's totally fine. I guess I'm assuming his sexuality. He could be heterosexual. Unlikely, but theoretically plausible. And allowed them to kind of push this absurd pseudoscientific nonsense and attach it to the community, which then a lot of people are looking at it and being like, nobody's sex is non-binary. Wearing pink doesn't make you not a man. This is ridiculous retrograde nonsense. And so because they're attaching that to us and our acceptance as just normal gay, lesbian, bisexual people, people are losing support for us. They're turning their back on us. And like, that's kind of our own fault to some extent. I think people should still support gay people living their best lives. Of course, I still believe that strongly, but you can't lump in nonsense with your movement and your agenda and your community and then be surprised when people stop supporting it. But that's what folks like this are doing, and if we let them, they'll continue to drive this community off a cliff. Up next, another TikToker is complaining about pronouns.
So I just saw something that said if you're one of those people that started calling it the Gulf of America seconds after that was announced, that you are fully capable of calling people by their preferred pronouns. And I hope
she really thought she ate. Like, she really just thought she did her big one. Babe, it's not that we can't use people's pronouns. It's that we aren't choosing to, because these are them, slugs, whatever, not a real thing, not real pronouns. We are not choosing to say them. It's not that we can't or don't want to. Maybe there are some old people out there who are earnestly trying but just can't quite do it. But most of us, it's that we're not trying to. We don't want to affirm your delulu. You can call yourself whatever you like, but you can't make us. And so this bar just did not hit. It's just not the bar that you think it is. It didn't hit, at least not for me. The one thing I always have given the non-binaries is they do make fire lattes. But apparently, the fact that non-binary people are so overrepresented statistically in the Starbucks workforce is actually proof of their oppression? Take a listen to this interesting TikTok.
Do you ever think about how the, like, stereotype of non-binary people being baristas is actually, like, a commentary on how difficult the workforce is for non-binary people? That just me?
I don't think that's it, babe. You're so close to getting it, but yet still so far. I think it may actually be that in the two circles of people who get useless college degrees and people who call themselves non-binary, that there's barely a Venn diagram. It's just a circle. And so a lot of them end up like doing jobs like working at Starbucks. And honestly, no shade. A job's a job. Work is work. But if you chose to study like gender studies or feminist studies or something else that basically makes you unemployable, and then because you chose that and also call yourself they, them, end up working minimum wage jobs, making lattes, I don't think you're oppressed or a victim in that situation. That's more like you lying in the bed that you made for yourself. Honestly, I'm okay with that status quo because they do be making the best oat milk lattes. Like if I see that little ugly ass progress flag and the they them haircut, I know that shit is about to be fire.